everyone, this is Fen Li, designer here at the Bead Flora studio. Today I'm going to show you a very exciting project for my book, Bead Flora, the Revival of French Beaded Flowers. This beaded rose brooch. At first glance, it looks like a basic flower accessory, but making French beaded flower accessories is a challenge because of the bulk from all the wires of all the flower parts. But let me tell you why this project is revolutionary when it comes to making French beaded flower accessories. This brooch is made all on one wire. Traditionally, if I were to make this design, I'd have 12 bottom tail wires, and we either need to glue to attach the brooch pin on, or the stem becomes part of the design, which can make the brooch droopy if you're not wearing the right type of fabric. In this video, I will show you my method of attaching the brooch pin on so that it does not become an afterthought. It is an advanced project and will take some practice, but please don't let that deter you. To get started, I already have 112 inches of wire cut and have about 8 inches of beads strung onto the wire. And I have a knot on the end there. Now I'm going to take the other end and stick it through one of the holes of the brooch pin. I'll undo the brooch pin first, of course, and then stick it through the hole and have the wire here, the tail wire, to be 8 inches. And then take the wire and wrap it around several times the brooch. That looks about 8 or 9 times. But who's counting? Okay, now redo the brooch pin. So now when you work, you won't poke yourself. And position the working wire so that it is in the middle. Now leave about a 1/4 inch of space and mark that with your hand. And feed the beads on. And we will make the first petal. The pattern calls for 5 8-bead double continuous wraparound loops for the first set of petals. So that's an 8-bead loop. Now we have all 5 of the loops done. I'm going to take the working wire and wrap it around the wire right here to form the inner petals. Now we are ready to make the middle petals, and the pattern calls for 5 8-bead triple continuous wraparound loops. So I'm going to leave some space right there so I have room to wrap my loops. Okay, so this wire is kind of in my way. I'm just going to wind it up so that it's not in my way. Now I have all 5 of the middle petals done, and now let's wrap this around the inner petals. And now take the working wire and then wrap it around the base of the petals there. About twice. It's starting to come together. Now we are ready to make the outer petals, and the pattern calls for 5 8-bead quadruple continuous wraparound loops. And again, we're going to leave some space right there so we can wrap the loops there. Now all 5 of the outer petals are done. Now let's wrap this around the flower. And then take the working wire and wrap it around the base of the petals there. I strung a little bit too much of the red beads onto the wire, so I'm going to remove the red beads here. We're done with that. So moving on to green. Now I'm going to string some green beads onto the wire. we're going to make the calyx, and this step is optional because the calyx is on the back and you won't really see it from the front, but it does give it a nice touch, but it can be a challenge to make the loops in such a tight space. So if you can't get the loops to work out, just remember that this is an optional step and you won't see it from the front. So the pattern calls for 5 15 bead continuous loops. Now the calyx is done, so wrap this around the base of the flower. And then wrap the bare wire around the base of the calyx a couple times. Now we are ready to make the leaves. So twist the working wire and the 8-inch tail wire together about 1/2 inch. So now this is the twisted wire here. String some beads onto the tail wire. The pattern calls for a 3-bead basic. So 3 beads right on there. I'm going to reknot. And rewind this here, so that it doesn't get in the way as we make the wraps. So now take the working wire and make a leaf that is a pointed top, rounded bottom, 11 rows. Okay, now we have 1 leaf. So unwind the top wire here, turn the leaf around, bend the wire down along the back of the leaf, turn it back to the front, take the wire and wrap it around the base of the leaf, over the base, back down again until the wire is back on the right hand side. So now take the working wire and the basic wire or the tail wire and twist these 2 wires together to make another twisted wire about 1/2 inch, and we're going to make another leaf. So undo the knot here and string on 3 beads onto the top. Now we are ready to make another leaf right on here. And I don't have enough beads. I didn't string on enough beads earlier, so I'm going to string more beads on. Now I probably have too many beads, but more is better than not enough. Okay. So now let's make the second leaf. Okay. Just a little extra, not too bad. Okay, so take this working wire and wrap it down close to the base of the leaf. And now take the working wire and wrap it around in between the brooch and the sepals. And take this top wire here, bend it down along the leaf, wrap it around. And then we're going to wrap this around at the base in between the brooch and the sepals. Now cut the excess wires here. And take some pliers and tuck these wires in. And voila, your brooch is done. Shape it a bit because it's a big mess. What I like to do to make it look a lot more professional is to glue some fabric on here. You can use felt. What I like to use is some, just cut a little circle from like silk flowers that we get at the craft store. I just cut a little circle here. I'm just going to hot glue this on. So just a dab of hot glue on here. Put on the little circle. Don't burn yourself. And if you want to sell this, you can get some nice fabric labels and glue that on also. Just give it a nice professional touch. I don't remember where I got this. These are really old. Probably bought them around 2012 or 2013. If I remember the name, I will put it in the description. Now shape it so that it's nice and pretty. Get rid of any of the glue strands. If you like this project and would like to learn more of my methods of making French beaded jewelry and accessories, you can find them in my book, Bead Flora, The Revival of French Beaded Flowers. It is available for purchase on Amazon and all major book retailers online. If you make this brooch, I love to see it. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, or my website at beadflora.com. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I announced last week that Lauren Harpster and I started a new Facebook group dedicated to helping you learn how to make French beaded flowers. I'll put a link in the description below if you haven't joined us already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!